Shalom. And I'm going to start off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach, Kodesh. And double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders, the great millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening, pushing forth this word with truth and sincerity, and your few Aquas as well. That's listening with sincerity. I'm the brother Machaya from the camp GMS Montreal, coming back with another lesson. And the Lord is going to take care of his servants in the time of trouble. Okay? You know, the servants of the Lord, the men, the women, okay? Your kids, right? They will be taken care of. And in the time of famine, we will be fed. You know, when Jacob's trouble is here, when all hell's breaking loose, you know, when there's no sense of security, we will be secure. Barat is that we be of the elect. Okay, because when you go to the book of Second Ezra, the second chapter, and verse 27, it says, "Be not weary when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh. Others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance." Okay, so we're not supposed to be in the mindset of, yo, when Jacob's trouble said, what are you gonna do? You know, where are we gonna sleep? What are we gonna eat? What are we gonna put on our clothes? What clothes are we gonna put on? What's gonna happen? Right? We don't have to be worried about these things. We don't have to trouble our minds about these things because the Lord knows, you know, those are necessities. You need food in order to survive. You need a shelter. You need clothes to put on yourself to protect you from the weather. You know, the Lord knows these things. So, of course, He will provide it. You know, as long as you're doing your part as being a good servant. Okay? You know, having a godly conversation. Because, you know, it says in 2 Peter, the third chapter, you know, what manner of conversations ought you to be. You know, let's get that real quick. Okay, let's get that. Because, you know, the elect is going to have the conduct of, you know, having godly conversation. You know, watching the times, immersing themselves in the scriptures. That's how you get yourself ready to be stable in the times to come, man. Because trust me, man, it will be very chaotic. All right. So this is 2 Peter 3 and verse 11. It says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" See, so knowing that the end is near, okay, knowing that the destruction, you know, is on the horizon. What conduct are you supposed to have? Right? You're supposed to have a godly conversation, a separate conversation from the people of this world, man. You know, you could even tie it in the scripture with the precept in Malachi, the 4th chapter. You know what? Let's tie it in together. Let's tie it in together. Okay, Malachi, the 3rd chapter. I want to say. Bear with me. Yep. Malachi, the 3rd chapter, and verse 16. It says, "Then they that feared Yahweh Shemi Shai spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name." You see that? So those that fear the Lord, you know, they're going to speak often one to another. You know, having what? That godly conversation. Precepts being brought out, you know. Hey, it's always like that, man. When you're having conversations with brother, it's always spiritual. Even though, you know, you might have your follies, you know, of course, you know, we folly, we joke around, but, you know, some way, somehow, you know, scriptures are being brought out, man. Whether you quote it making a joke, you know, being facetious, right? You know, our conduct is that of, you know, the scriptures. Our mind is being framed to that of the word, man. You know what I'm saying? And it has to be like that. It has to be so. You know, you literally have to become a walking scripture, man. Just like in the book of Eli, right? When you watch the movie The Book of Eli, you know, he memorized the whole thing. You know, to where that, you know, he rewrote it towards the ends of the movie. Well, I mean, it's not a spoiler. This movie's been out for ages now. You know, it's just like 2010. If you haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing. But towards the end of the movie, because the book was taken away, he wrote it back down because, you know, the book was in him. So that's how the elect has to be, man. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to literally become an encyclopedia of knowing every scripture word for word. Of course, these bodies, they're limited. I mean, you forget things. That's why we paraphrase, to the best of our ability. But regardless, the scripture is within us. All right, you know, that's the point, man. So let's go back to the point of the lesson. Back to Second Ezra 2 and verse. We're at 27, right? The Lord is gonna give us abundance. Okay, abundance of food. All right. While the others, they're gonna be starving. Those that's not having a godly conversation, the ungodly. Okay, because that's what the judgments are for. The famine, the beast. You know what I'm saying? Or like scripture say, the four soul judgments: famine, beast, sword. What's the other one? Pestilence. You know what I'm saying? These things are reserved for the ungodly, man. The godly, hey, us will be, we're going to have a hedge of protection. So don't fret yourself. So verse 28, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. Yeah, the heathen, they're going to envy us, but what? They won't be able to do jack shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's get Isaiah 63. Uh, no, 65. Is it 60 or 65? I want to say 65. No, I think it's 60. Let's see, bear with me. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. If you forget things, man, these bodies are limited, Is this 61? God damn. This precept, this should be, this should be automatic, man. Or is it 60? Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. The precept will be brought out. It will be brought out. God damn. Let me type it in, man. um, oh, it's 65. Yeah, it was 65. Tripping, man. Man, we need new bodies, man. We need new bodies, man. This is what I'm talking about. Certain things, you forget, even though you know where it is. That's why, you paraphrase. This is Isaiah 65 and we'll start at verse 12. It says, therefore I will number you to the sword, and all and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Okay, so that's the recompense for the stubbornness, for the stiff-neckedness, if that's a word, of our people. The Lord's not going to hear them. Okay, because when he spoke, they didn't take heed. And how is he speaking? To his men, his prophets, that are out there in the highways and hedges, on the YouTube, doing epistles and live streams. It goes on and says, verse 13, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. You see, we're going to eat. We're going to eat, B. Everybody got to eat, B. Everybody's going to eat. All right, while others going to be starving. And when food is scarce and you have it, man, hey, that shit is even sweeter. The food tastes even better. The fact that others don't have it, it's luxurious in a sense. It's like what's that word I'm looking for? It's damn, it's not exclusive, but when something, it's limited, or limited edition food. But that's not the word I'm looking for. But when something is scarce and then here it is, you have the opportunity to have it. A limited edition shoes or limited edition shirt, pants, whatever. So at that time, food, limited edition apples, man, limited edition chicken. Because they ain't gonna have chicken to eat, no apples to eat. The only thing they might have to eat is oxygen, oxygen, all right? Or if they really lost the scruples, their loved ones, their babies, their neighbors, okay? I'm talking about cannibalism, all right? Or if they're lucky enough, if they find a cockroach running around the crib, hey, that'll be their meal for the week. And they're gonna eat it with care. All right, while us we're eating good food, lawful food, no squirrels and shit and fucking roaches. The Lord is going to give us lawful food, man. Yeah, don't be surprised the Lord tests you too by presenting you with abominable food. Here it is, I don't know, a couple hours went by, you haven't eaten, then the spirit of doubt starts to come in your mind, saying starts to come and try you. And then, you find some group of people, then they're cooking some swine or some squirrel or some shit. And then they tell you squirrel or swine. Are you going to fold and eat that shit to fulfill your lust? Or be like, nah, man, I ain't doing that shit. I'm going to wait on the Lord to feed me. Hey, trust me, hey, situations like that will happen. Where you go a long period of time without eating, 24 hours or whatever, you know, and then abominable food is presented to you by the Lord, and that'll be the Lord trying you to see, if you're gonna keep your integrity, you know, where it's nothing far-fetched. The Lord will do that. It's not could, He will. Things like that will happen, man, to test your integrity and your faith, you know. But let's continue. Isaiah 65 and verse 13 again. Therefore, thus said the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Yeah, a whole lot of shame will happen in the near future, especially for these wolf men, these N dubs, all the women, especially the N dubs. She's at the top of the list. Yeah, a lot of shame's gonna cover their faces, man. All right. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. A lot of howling, man. We're gonna hear a lot of wolves, whole lot of wolves, man. Them hunger pains. Hey, shit. You don't want to be part of the ungodly, man. That's why we're doing this service with fervency, to making our calling and election sure, man. To make sure the Lord takes care of us, so that the Lord does not forsake us. Oh, King David stated that. This is more proof of insurance how that we will be secure, of what our forefather King David said. Throughout his experience, his lifetime experience. How that he never saw. Let's get it. The righteous forsaken. Yeah. Psalms 37 and verse 25. I have been old, and now I sound like you. I have been young, and now I'm old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You see, so throughout King David's lifetime experience, he said, he never seen the righteous forsaken, nor the seed of the righteous begging bread. So hey, you and your family, you will be good. Okay, unless you have a seed that's complete demons, or your rib, your wife is a complete demon, then that's another story. But if they're following your leadership and following your authority, they will be good. They will be straight. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't gotta fret. Once again, we ain't gotta worry, man. Our forefathers, things happened to where that, it seemed that, everything was at a loss. Everything was not going their way. But what? The Lord always pulled through. The Lord always took care of the godly, man. Oh, what's that in Sirach? The second chapter. Sirach 2 and 10. It says, look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? No one. All those that, what I'm saying, that trusted in the Lord and abided in his fear, they were never forsaken, man. Never. To the naked eye, while they're being tried and tested, it might seem that they're forsaken, but they ain't. It's just a period of the Lord, testing your faith and your integrity, man. But it's a matter of you keeping your trust, keeping your fear in the Lord, and then what? He will pull through. It's a fact, man. Very factual. It has been proven. It has been proven, man. Okay? So, hey, we will be taken care of, man. The Lord's going to take, already right now, as we speak, throughout your day-to-day, the Lord is taking care of you. The mere fact that you're fed, your bills are paid, you know what I'm saying? You have clothes, you have food. I already said fed, I said it again, but you know what I mean, man. You're taken care of. You know, what's that in the book of Luke or in Matthew, I think, probably Mark too, where it says, the fowls of heaven are fed. How much more is he going to take care of his servants? These things. That's what the Gentiles worry about, man. About the next meal and shit like that, man. But when you trust in the Lord, you ain't gotta worry about these things. That's the light thing. That's your needs, your necessities, man. You know what I'm saying? You think the Lord's gonna let you starve? Be through? You might be through for a period of time to be tried, but he will come through. Okay? Hey, man, that's the point. I'm gonna close it off there. Begging all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach Chodesh. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I'm gonna say